los ojos. Open your eyes. Open your eyes.
Vanilla Sky is one of those films that I had to watch more than once. It intermingles this heartbreaking story of true love lost with a Beauty and the Beast-ish type storyline of a disfigured man still hoping that his beloved will still want him, with the grand futuristic plot twist involving a life extension technology which allows humans to live in a dream forever. Needless to say, this film was way ahead of its time. In my opinion, this science fiction psychological thriller crawled so that shows like Black Mirror could run. Like, surely San Junipero was inspired by this film, right? Vanilla Sky, based on the Spanish film Abre los Ojos, was directed by Cameron Crowe and stars Tom Cruise, his co-star Penelope Cruz, who he allegedly started dating while still with then-wife Nicole Kidman, and rising star at the time Cameron Diaz. This 2001 film is turning 25 years old this year, which prompted another rewatch. And upon rewatching, I thought, oh my goodness, they sure did Julie Giani dirty in this film, didn't they?
You treated Julie carelessly, didn't you?
And before I say why, let's remind ourselves of the plot.
Abre los ojos. Open your eyes.
Vanilla Sky centers around a 33-year-old magazine publisher / nepo baby David Ames. He's successful off the back of his father, but he's wealthy, attractive. He's your quintessential playboy. He can buy anything he wants and get any woman he wants. He has this best friend, Brian, played by Jason Lee, who's a writer and clearly jealous of David, and we'll talk more about Brian later.
Hello, handsome.
Then there's Julie Giani, played by Cameron Diaz. She's the typical late 90s, early 2000s model type, tall, skinny, blonde New York fashionista, which David claims is his friend, yet he treats her more like a disposable playmate, and we'll talk more on that later too. But basically, Brian, David's best friend, brings this young woman that he met at a library, Sophia, who's a dancer / dental assistant, as his date to David's birthday party. And immediately, David and Sophia just click, and they start getting very flirtatious with this awkward back and forth banter right in front of Brian, her date, and also in front of Julie, David's playmate, who wasn't even invited to the party.
I didn't invite you, Julie.
That was a little weird.
But that's how it works with parties. You have to be invited.
So after meeting Sophia just once, David becomes completely infatuated with her, and this makes both Brian and Julie jealous. In fact, Julie is not only jealous, but she's really heartbroken, seeing that she just slept with David 4 times the night before. She ultimately ends up following David around the party, and after the party, she sees him leaving Sophia's apartment in the morning. Upset, she gets him to take a ride with her to talk, and she lets all of her feelings out.
Why did you tell Brian that I was your fuck buddy?
24 hours a day, I live with this aching possibility that you might call me to do something.
Leading her to have this psychotic break and drives her car off a bridge, killing herself with David in it. David survives the crash, but his face did not. He's disfigured, more self-conscious than ever, and he's just different now. And Sophia, who was initially very much into David, is now a bit put off. So much so that she doesn't even want to hang out with him alone. So they're at this club and everyone's having a really bad time. David's wearing this mask and just being all weird. And this is one of the last moments that the audience gets to see of David's real life before the lucid dream life extension begins. which eventually becomes a nightmare. Also, side note, and I'm sure everyone must know this by now since this film is 25 years old, but the film title, Vanilla Sky, and the vanilla sky that marks the beginning of David's lucid dream, is based off the Claude Monet Impressionist painting that David had hanging in his apartment, the scene at Argenteuil, a symbol of escape for David. So the entire film is being narrated through sessions that David is having in the lucid dream with his court-appointed psychologist as he's on trial for murder in his now nightmare. But let's talk about what happened in real life before that vanilla sky appeared and Sophia picked David up off that sidewalk. There was a woman who lost her life very tragically. We watched her commit because she was being toyed with by a man.
I'm not blowing you off. I want to be alone for a little bit. Trust me.
You just never seem to be there for your friends until they've already given up on you.
The main character who we are supposed to have sympathy for because this crazy woman crashed her car and disfigured his face, and because Sophia is a bit turned off by his appearance and his attitude and his disposition initially after the crash, and because the 7 dwarves are out to get him and trying to get their hands on his company, and it's all poor him. I saw what the writers were trying to do. Julie Giani was made to look like a complete and total superficial bitch in this film. She had to look disposable. The writers had to make the audience not care about Julie as much as they cared about Sophia or David and Sophia's story. The contrast was night and day. Julie was made to be a Jezebel. She's highly sexual.
You fucked me 4 times the other night, David.
Julie.
I swallowed your That means something.
And she's just way too liberated and too cool with casual sex with no titles. Women like this are supposed to be disposable. She's also high maintenance in what some would call a vain profession and made to be a bit of a mean girl.
What?
She looks like a moth, David.
A moth?
She must be exhausted from trying to be witty for you all night long.
Hey, Julie.
She's made to be disliked so you don't feel bad that she dies, even though this man was obviously toying around with her heart. Sophia, on the other hand, more down to earth, doesn't care how silly she looks. In a more artistic career, she's a dancer, she's a hard worker, she's also a dental assistant, insinuating that life doesn't come easy for her. Like she said this when she was talking about how she had to work around the clock to keep her place. She met Brian at the library, insinuating that she's an intellectual, and David himself describes her as
Give me that. Use it to draw a caricature.
I couldn't. I saw you like that.
she's the one that everyone's rooting for. That's his true love, despite her ditching her date, his best friend, for him, and them only really having one night together. Julie was made to be the sacrifice for this man's much-needed character development. She was gaslit. Sure, Julie tried to play it cool, acting like she didn't need a title or a defined relationship with David, but David repeatedly emphasizes that this woman is his friend. To her and to everyone else, well, to his dream girl, she's a stalker, but Julie, his alleged friend, couldn't even get an invite to his birthday party despite them having their adult sleepover in which they were intimate 4 times throughout the night.
You just never seem to be there for your friends until they've already given up on you.
She was triangulated. Julie would also be alive if David didn't intentionally triangulate her with another woman. So Julie shows up to the party uninvited because they're friends, right? Gets David a gift. He makes it clear that he doesn't really want her there and proceeds to use Sophia, the new love interest, to triangulate her with Julie, referring to Julie, a friend that he just slept with, as a stalker.
I've got this little problem. I got a stalker.
It doesn't sound life-threatening.
when she's really just hurt by his actions. Then he gives this sick little smirk when Sophia describes his quote-unquote friend as the saddest girl to ever hold a martini.
I think she's the saddest girl to ever hold a martini.
The gaslighting continues when he assures Julie that he's not blowing her off when he obviously was.
I'm not blowing you off. I want to be alone for a little bit.
And the so-called nice guy of the film delivered the final blow. In contrast to Playboy Got It All David, Brian gets no passes either. Julie would ultimately be alive if Brian never ran his mouth, telling Julie lies actually, but Brian should have never told Julie that David called her his buddy, which David actually never even said. Those were Brian's words, his thoughts. Brian denies this little factoid that led to Julie's crash out and ultimate demise, claiming that he never even spoke to Julie that night, and you can see it on his face in that scene that he's lying, but it's on film that he very much did. And we are still in real life here when things get morbid after the crash. It just seemed like David had no regard for his alleged friend Julie's life. When they're at the club after the accident, in a pathetic attempt to try and reconnect with Sophia, David begins creepily reenacting the moment at his birthday party when he's calling Julie, a now deceased woman, a stalker.
Let's start over. How about if you help me? See, I've got this little problem. I've got a stalker.
This reenactment really upsets Sophia because it's just vile. You're talking about the dead.
Wait, what's wrong? Is it me? Talk about it all right now. Let's just talk about everything. Let's get it all out.
And David just cannot read the room. Even in his dream, it becomes a nightmare when Sophia morphs into Julie.
Now I'm gonna make sure that I tie it 4 times. You know why, Julie? Because 4 times really means something.
4 times. It means something, David.
And then he smothers her to death. Like, he had so much hatred for this girl. Like,
You treated Julie carelessly, didn't you?
in this film, we saw a man sleep with a woman that he obviously hated over and over and over again for sport. Also, gaslighting and lying to avoid discomfort, yeah, that's real life too.
I'm not blowing you off.
And the ultimate lesson is that men will definitely drive you to have a psychotic break if you center them.
Your friend Brian Shelby threw a 3-day memorial in your old home. You were missed, David.
David was ultimately missed, and Julie was just an inconvenient nightmare that stood in the way of him and his true love. David does eventually choose to face the consequences of his actions in the end, but not before making a very dastardly effort to try and escape them. What are your thoughts on Vanilla Sky? Please share them down below. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you've enjoyed the content. Signing off now, your friend, Dom.